Rory, you may be about 18 feet from me, but everybody else is a good 20 feet. So, and with my microphone, I don't have to project. So I am not wearing a mask. Everybody else is wearing a mask. All right, cameras are on. This Mass is being offered for the repose of the soul of Frank Reynolds, but we are including everyone in our parish prayer list, all the people who have the coronavirus, all those suffering the effects of the pandemic, and our Father's Day novena. And I apologize if I keep touching my face with this mask. I want to welcome everybody back. It seems like it's been 1,000,000 years. And I have been saying Mass to a camera, which is difficult. So I am just very happy to have you here, and I'm sure that you are happy to be here. We can only do Mass if people are wearing masks, if we are washing our hands, and remember the 20-second rule there. We have to continue to use hand sanitizer. We have hand sanitizer on the way in. Church also wants you to use hand sanitizer on the way out. At the end of Mass, I'm going to ask that you please disinfect your chair. We have wet wipes in the back. Samantha, at the end of Mass, can you just make sure people get wet wipes? Please note, the Cardinal has given a dispensation for the Sunday Mass obligation. So you do not have to be here if you are in a high-risk group. That means if you're over 65, and I'm so glad to see that we have such a young group of people here. If you have any pre-existing condition, like a heart condition, any respiratory issues, diabetes, anything that's going to suppress your immune system, we ask you to please be safe and stay home. We also ask you to stay home if you feel sick, or if someone in your house feels sick. If you've been around someone who has tested positive, or if you think they might have, stay home. We didn't know if Judy was going to be coming until Friday afternoon because one of Judy's sons was under the weather and he got tested and they did not know what his condition was. And so he had to quarantine and they didn't get the answer until Friday. So Judy wasn't going to be here until Friday, so we're glad. But that's what we have to do. We have to play it safe, okay? You have rights. You also have, I should say we have rights. We also have responsibilities. And if I don't take a cough drop, I'm not going to make it through a Mass. We have a right to assemble, but we only have that right because we are responsible for other people and to other people. So a judge this week said that we could go from 25% to 50% capacity. No, we can't here. And we can't do it here because we have the chairs 6 feet apart. And in order to go to 50%, we would have to move the chairs closer than that. So we have about 105 chairs here, and pretty much that's what we're going to have. All right? And I'm doing this to keep you safe. Because if we have an outbreak in the church, then we have to close the church for 2 weeks. All right? So you are responsible to everyone else who is here. During Mass, we ask that you register. I understand some people signed in today because they're not on the computer. Call the office, register each Sunday, all right? And please come early. We need people to come early. We will not be having any singing because when you sing, you project, and that puts particles in the air, or particulates, I think they say. Use hand sanitizer when you come in and when you go out. Also, you're going to use hand sanitizer right before you receive communion. At communion time, I will put my mask on, then I will sanitize my hands. You will sanitize your hands, and I want everybody to sanitize their hands before communion. And the Eucharistic ministers, who are already wearing masks, they will sanitize their hands, and they will go out and distribute communion to everybody. The hosts, I had my mask on, I had just sanitized my hands, I took the host out of the cellophane container, I put them in here, I closed the tops, and we're not going to open the tops until communion time. Again, you say, why are you going through all this? Because I want you to feel safe, and I want you to remember how important it is that we follow these precautions. We will only have communion in the hand. All right, so you cannot receive communion on the tongue. We will not have a sign of peace. I will not process in and out at the beginning of Mass, so I will not be greeting people. The important thing here is if we want to have Mass, and we do, we have to do it in a way that's safe. So coronavirus is on its way up again. And by the way, just to put this into perspective, the 1918 influenza, they think that killed about 50 million people worldwide. We don't have to have those kind of numbers. If we wear masks, social distance, just be responsible. So that's a long homily for me. No, actually, that's a short homily for me, but all right. We have, on your seats, we have handouts. They have an entrance antiphon that replaces our entrance hymn. We have the Gloria for you. We have the responsorial psalm response. We have the creed. Then on the back page, we have the communion antiphon that replaces our communion hymn. And then all the way at the bottom, we have the prayer to St. Michael. The church and the world are just in such a disastrous state. I think we really need to go back to the prayer. The church prayed that prayer for over 100 years at the end of Mass. So we're going to go back to saying that prayer. So if everyone would please stand.